Our coach, any surprises to you when that bracket came out last night?
Not really, other than a lot of these first-round games sound like Final Four games. But I think they kind of went with the numbers as far as the strength of schedule and the RPI and wins in the RPI and so on.
I think we sort of expected you to get the exact draw you got, but how does it affect the week where you won't know your specific opponent until late on Wednesday?
Well, that's interesting. We're as coaches, we're trying to prepare for two opponents, and we're not sure right now how much information we want to give our guys. We've already played Siena, so some of the guys are going to remember that game and who they covered and who covered them. And they remember last year's game with Bryant in the playoffs, and they gave us everything we could handle, especially their face-off guy. So I think they know a little bit about both groups, and we'll know more on Wednesday night.
Big picture, how do you think your road shapes up here? Because no easy games in front of you.
Well, I think no one does. I mean, you look at the Denver's and North Carolina games as a first round. That sounds like a Final Four game, if not a championship game. So we're not looking ahead at all. We've got to be prepared for whatever happens, and we've got to take care of business Sunday at 7:30, or else we won't be able to go on. So we're looking forward to it. Looking forward to finals getting over with this week, so the guys can focus on just lacrosse.
Is it the hardest part is to keep them in their focus, narrow, not look ahead to, a Duke or another potential?
Not too much anymore. I think right now, coming off the Colgate game, it showed me a lot about these guys. The fact that go through last day of classes, finals, senior day, and yet they were still able to stay focused on Colgate. So if we can respond the same way going forward to our next few games, it's really going to help us.
John, earlier in the year, you kept telling us we have to just fix little things. We can fix the clear, and everything's going to be okay. Most of us probably didn't believe you.
We've been doing this for 35 years.
I was going to say, is it just learned experience that keeps you so calm in that situation, or what?
I think so. Well, I think I have a great staff in place that understands the game of lacrosse and has a lot of coaching experience, dealt with a lot of different kind of players, and we've always been able to adapt to the times as far as changing technique, or if we have to change an offense or a defense. The game doesn't stay the same from year to year, and we've had great success with that. So a lot of things in place and a great group of guys to coach. These guys do well in the classroom. They've been good socially and great on the field, and I think they've just gotten better at almost every game we've played this year.
Was there a point where you wondered if a turnaround was coming? I mean, if you guys were going to struggle like some of us probably thought?
Well, I think the Duke game was a turning point when they beat us like they did. You either had to question yourself or you really had to roll up your sleeves and get going. And I think a lot of the class, a lot of the senior class, a lot of the upperclassmen really took the bull by the horns, met with themselves first, and then met with the team, and I think I've seen a change since then.
Have you always tried to maintain kind of a calming presence, or is that a learned or an intentional thing, or is it just who you are?
I think that I think it's part of coaching. A lot of guys when they first start coaching, become very emotional. They're just left the field as a player, and it's an adjustment for young coaches who aren't playing anymore, and they have to learn how to focus on the team and the players and how to get them better. And so I think it's a little bit acquired, and we've seen a lot of situations. I've been through 11 national championships, a bunch of Final Fours, and all kinds of lacrosse games. Even like the Duke game, I've been through a bunch of those. So I think it helps, and I think you have to stay fairly calm because your players are going to react to your emotion. And I think if you're overboard or you're too upset with a call or something like that, when you come back to the huddle, you've lost your train of thought, and you need to stay focused on what it's going to take to win the next play, the next quarter, the next game, whatever it may be, and hopefully that carries on to the players and they can hear what you're saying and they'll be able to execute better on the field.
So were you an emotional guy long ago? Did you have that? You have that
Sure.
in you when you started?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I used to. Used to break clipboards and yell at people. Of course, times were different. You could in those days you could grab somebody by the collar and shake him and still have your job the next day, and that doesn't always happen anymore. So, like I said, you've had to adjust over the years, and we've been able to do that.
It's hard to picture.
Yeah.